Hey, what's up, guys? So this is step number 8 on the render rank journey, guys, and I'm pretty excited about this video here just because we were able to get someone from the community that is an expert and knows Google Ads and is going to help us. Actually, he's going to help me with this niche that we're starting, well, for the whole journey, right? For the bounce house niche, and we're going to do step by step, right? And this way, you guys can learn also and follow along and kind of follow us and see how this whole kind of experiment that we're doing here, this journey works out. So I'm going to introduce you to Jenna here. Let me bring her in really quick. And hold on one sec. Hey, Jenna, how you doing?
Hey, Lenny. How are you?
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I really appreciate this. And kind of tells a little bit about yourself, a little bit of background on how you got started in the render rank journey and kind of what you do.
Yeah, I'm actually quite new with Rent and Rank as well, but I have a pretty extensive background with Google Ads. I have a marketing agency based in the US that is only doing Google Ads, and we focus mainly on local service businesses. So plumbers, HVAC, piano teachers, dentists, these kinds of things, almost all of the typical target industries that would be focused for Rate and Rank is what I've been working on for the past 5 or 6 years with Google Ads. So these kinds of campaigns are pretty familiar for me.
Awesome. And thank you so much for coming on and doing this. We really greatly appreciate this because I think a lot of people are going to learn. This is one of the most questions that are asked in the community, and I'm pretty sure you see that too, right? How do we do the Google Ads? Oh, I'm not getting enough clicks, or should I still keep running it? And I, like I said, I think this is going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people, and also it's going to show you, like, if there's any tweaks that need to be done, or or what's going on with the campaign. And we're going to show obviously the community that, and hopefully they could learn and they could adapt and also pivot in their niche if they have to pivot when they're doing their Google Ads.
Yeah, we'll go through the most basic campaign setup. So there might be a few fluctuations based off of how things that people want to change with theirs, but this setup should be applicable to almost the majority.
Awesome. All right, so let's get started here. I'm gonna let you take it away here. I'm gonna here, let me pin your let me see. Okay, I think you're good. So let me know you can share your screen too here. You should be able to. All right, cool.
Okay,
go for it.
Okay, so this is a fresh account. If you've set up a new account and you chose smart mode when you set up the new account, it won't look like this. You'll want to create an account using expert mode. You'll have a lot more features. You'll also have a lot more data. The campaigns run completely different. So if you're willing to follow this method, you will get a lot more information. So we're going to start with a new campaign. And for this, we're going to be doing the bounce house examples. I recommend starting a campaign without any goal guidance at the beginning, just fresh. And we're going to be creating a search campaign. You are going to want website visits, phone calls, and not app downloads. For this, we'll use the website that we have created and the phone number that we have on the website. Sorry, I have to bounce between windows. And Lenny, if there's any questions as I'm going through this, as somebody that's not used to building these, just let me know if I'm
definitely
missing something or going too fast. You can name it anything. I like to name all my campaigns with a specific format. So I always name them with the type of campaign that they are, what we're targeting, which is probably leads or phone calls, and then the location that it's targeting. And I think for this, we're going to be targeting Lenny, LA County, LA City.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to do Los Angeles City. So basically all of LA.
City. Okay. So this is just a format that I'm used to using. but you can obviously put anything you want for the campaign name there. At the beginning, we're going to be focusing on clicks because we don't have conversion information yet. I would recommend setting a maximum cost per click bid limit just because Google can go really crazy at the beginning. I'd set it at $5. If you're in a competitive area, it might need to be higher, but this is usually enough that if you don't check it for a few days, you're not going to burn all your budget right away. For this, I would leave this unclicked for now because we do want to get more traffic and you probably don't really have any customers yet. So you can always change this later. We'll leave search network and Google search partners just because Google likes us to use it. Keep the display network off. It does end up spending a lot of budget and we don't usually get conversions from it. For the target location, we're going to enter another location. We'll look at Los Angeles. And this is going to be Los Angeles County. This is going to be your reach. So this is
actually, let's do the city, Los Angeles, California. Yeah, not the county, because the counties could probably be like Palmdale. There's gonna be other cities involved in the county. So let's just do the city. Yeah.
So yeah, you can see that there's Los Angeles City. There's Los Angeles based off of a specific region. I can't remember how this is broken down. And then there's the county. So we're going to target Los Angeles City, and you can still see there's quite a big reach. This targeting location, you can leave this for now, but if you start getting a lot of irrelevant traffic, you can change this. Basically, this just means that you're targeting people that are either physically in or interested in your industry in the target location. And this one is only if people are in or regularly in your targeted location. So this means they need a physical presence. This is going to be the default. It's usually fine to start with, but if you get a lot of people that are looking for, say, bounce houses that are not actually in LA, just change it to this option.
That makes sense.
I think we'll leave it at English. Yeah. Lenny? Okay. This you can always put any language that you want here, but English is pretty standard.
Have you ever question here in terms of the languages, have you ever I guess test split those, like, you know, if you had a Spanish speaking person, let's say, you know, is that more conversion, or is there any difference there, or have you done that before?
Other languages in the US are the traffic is very minimal. I've run other languages in other countries where the main language was not English. What you have to remember with this is that this is going to be based off of the Google language setting, not off of what they type. So if their main Google browser is set to English, or their Google profile in their Google settings is set to English, then that's who we're targeting. So even if somebody types in Spanish, if their setting is in English, that's how Google decides who they're showing ads to. So they would have to have their setting in Google to Spanish, and that would be, you know, I would say most of the people in the US, a lot of them, even if they do speak both languages, their default language ends up being English.
Interesting. Yeah, just kind of interesting thought there. Just because and this probably be another video here in, if you wanted to, only target Spanish speakers, obviously the whole website will have to change to Spanish and, have the whole conversion on that end. But I think, there's a Spanish speaking business owner you're working with that only does Spanish speaking, I think that could probably be something interesting, just kind of a thought.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You'll want to change. So I would recommend having a separate campaign. So what I wouldn't create a campaign that is targeting English and Spanish at the same time.
Yeah,
I would create an English campaign and then a Spanish campaign so you can separate the budget, so that you can, and then you'd also want Spanish ads and you'd want the keywords in Spanish. And as you said, you'd probably want them to be sent to a Spanish page as well. So I would just create a completely different campaign.
Sounds good.
We can ignore all these for now. The default settings are fine for now. So for the keywords, we are just going to have Google kind of suggest things to us, because Google likes to kind of do what they want.
Oh, I think in the bottom there, I think it popped up.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to give us more. Oh, or they don't want to.
Oh no,
Okay.
I just spelled the bounce house rental.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So the list below is based off of what's on your website. And this is going to be, let's see what they give us based off of just bounce house rentals.
Okay.
It's going to be more or less the same.
Cool.
So what I do is I just add all of these for now, and then I clear them out later, because it's just easier to get this part finished and then edit the campaign in a different window. So I'll create the ads.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just put some basic things in for now and then go through and edit them later so that we can just have the campaign set up.
Okay.
So Google really wants us to use the keywords in the headlines. Sometimes this does not make for very fluid ad copy, but unfortunately, it's a constant fight between Google with matching the keywords that they want us to use, and also being friendly for the user to read. But it's just something that we have to play around with. So we'll just add a few headlines here, try to save this to get through this section, and then I'll show you how to edit it.
Okay.
This is also going to be really slow because we're recording and
Yeah, no worries.
It's not even letting me click on it. There we go.
Now, and you said we're gonna edit this later, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Because this is how important is. I mean, I was thinking too, like for these, because this is what the person's gonna see, right? Once the ad gets shown to the on top of Google, right? And if they're gonna click on it, because I was thinking maybe putting something about coupons or something enticing, right, where they could click on the ad.
Yeah. So the problem is this setup section. If we don't get through it, then we lose everything.
Okay.
So you basically want to kind of finish the setup and then do the edits, like the bigger edits later, so that you don't end up messing anything up and then you have to go through everything from the beginning.
Okay.
So I kind of just put filler information here for now, and knowing that it's not going to run, and then going through and adding it later.
Okay.
Also, this is like, yeah,
yeah, no worries.
yeah, it doesn't fit properly when I'm doing with everything going at the same time. Okay. And this one also. So we just have to add some things in here. This business name and logo, you can add it, but you're going to have to do some kind of verification process where you upload your business registration. So I think for rank and rent, we might not be able to do that at all. I've not gone through this yet.
Yeah, let's skip.
Yeah, site links and callouts, again, we'll add these all later because it's easier to just get through this setup section first.
Okay.
For your average daily budget, at the beginning, because we're not done with the setup yet, I leave this at 0.
Mhm.
or just to finish this. And obviously Google is going to tell you that it's not going to work. So we'll go ahead and publish that campaign. So now once you get here, this is the window that you would generally see when you first get in and you've got your campaign going.
Mhm.
So we're going to go into this and then actually edit it now. There's your one ad group. Here's the keywords. Okay, so one thing that you'll have to change is Google is going to default those keywords from that list that we looked at as a broad match.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how much you know about keyword match types, but broad match basically means that Google will match a very broad user search to Bounce House. Like they
Mhm.
might, I mean, the searches that Google matches up is crazy. So what we want to do is change all of these to phrase match, and it will make Google be a little bit more narrow with um, what they decide they can show the ad for. So it should be something similar to Bounce House, inflatable rentals, with this phrase match. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Definitely.
Okay, so some of these we have to, most of these keywords will probably be pretty good, except Bounce House rentals, very applicable. Jumper rental, I'm not sure. You have to kind of decide if this is something that would be relevant to somebody searching.
Mm.
Is someone searching for jumper rentals? Would they be interested in a bouncy house rental?
Hmm. I think jumper rent isn't the same thing. The jump, like the jumpers. I mean, I'm assuming it's the
I don't know what a jumper is, honestly. I don't know I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it called a jumper rental. So I'm not sure if that's like a
yeah.
jump thing, or I don't know.
Okay. We'll just keep that there for now and just kind of see what it targets, I guess. Is it
Slide
more?
rental.
Here's a question: is it more to have more keywords, to get more traffic, or is it better to have less keywords to get, I guess, better quality? Because I think right now we're kind of debating like, okay, we want to make sure it's a good keyword to get the quality of type of customer we're trying to attract, right? That way, they hit this.
Yeah, some of this is going to be based off of testing and what you get. As far as there's always a balance between more traffic, like casting a wider but broader net, or
Mhm.
being more narrow with less traffic. Google really likes data, so at the beginning, you probably want to be, you don't want to take out too many things because you want traffic to come through, otherwise you just won't have any information. But you want to also make sure you're not, you don't want to be targeting things that don't, you want to think about, if someone is searching for this, are they looking for what,
Mhm.
would they be interested in what you're selling? Like slides, like slide rentals.
Yeah.
That could be that, I mean, technically that has nothing to do with the bouncy house,
Mhm.
but maybe somebody's thinking of an inflatable slide. Maybe somebody's thinking of a slip-in slide. Maybe somebody's thinking of they could be thinking of all kinds of slides, but would they be interested, is that same person, what they're looking for, would they also be interested in inflatable bouncy house? Possibly, because
Yeah.
maybe it's for something, some kind of team building or some kind of party, and maybe they're like, oh, I wanted to slide, but here's a bouncy house instead. That also works.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Um, party bouncer. This could very, very easily be somebody looking for a guy standing at the door checking
Yeah.
IDs.
Yeah, let's
So
consider that one.
we really don't know unless we run it. But we can also, if we think that it's more often going to be not what we want, you can take it out. It's really going to just depend on your account.
Yeah, party bouncer definitely sounds like a security guy.
Okay, so we'll take that out. And one thing that you want to be aware of is too, things like bounce house. So
Mhm.
bounce house rental is somebody looking for a rental, but bounce house is very general. Could be somebody looking for bounce house photos, somebody looking to buy a bounce house, somebody
Yeah,
looking for. So again, if you want more traffic to see what you can get, you can leave it in there. If your
okay,
traffic's expensive and you're getting too much stuff, you can take it out.
got
It's
it.
just
So
gonna be
yes,
preference.
so this is part now. So this kind of I think it's a great conversation we're having right now because um this is what Google Ads, right? And this is I think a part where because it's new to me. I didn't know about that before, like in terms of the keywords and the searches we're going to be getting and traffic we're going to be getting. And this is all about tweaking and going back to the ad, fixing what's working, fixing what's not working. And it's kind of an evolving thing, right? Where and that's how Google Ads work, right? And I think I'm starting to get a better idea about how this whole thing is going to kind of go through. So we're going to be running this, checking it. Obviously, how many times do you think you suggest checking it? Every once a week, every couple of days? What are you thinking?
At the beginning, you're going to want to check it every couple days just because there's a lot more fine tuning at the beginning, and there could be a lot of things that a lot of because we don't know, we're really guessing at the beginning. Things
Mhm,
like, say, bounce house, that could just run away with
mhm,
all of your budget. So you're going to want to check it every couple days just to make sure that in 1 week you didn't get a bunch of traffic that you just spent 100 or whatever your budget is on, and Google was like, yeah, sure,
got it.
bounce house, jump ball, McDonald's playpens, you know what I mean, just crazy stuff. And the way that you can, I'll show you how to check it here, but after it's been running, once the account becomes more mature, you only need to check it maybe once a week, once every couple weeks,
Got it. Okay,
and for like 5 minutes. You really
cool.
don't need to be in the account that much. You shouldn't be making that many changes.
Okay. All right, cool. So what will be the next step here?
Just to answer your other question, I wouldn't put more than maybe 5 to 10 keywords in an ad group. You
Mm,
really don't need that many anymore. The way that we had to target lots of keywords previously with Google Ads isn't really a thing. Google kind of understands that a bounce house is an inflatable rental, and more often will just basically show your ad to very similar searches anyway without you having to add all the different keywords. So you don't have to add like bounce house rentals and rent a bounce house and rent a bounce house near me. It's literally now it's all the same thing. It will all come under the same keyword.
cool. All right. It's good to know.
Yeah. So let's go back to the ads real quick and show you where to edit that. So you're going to want to edit it under here, and we won't have time to go through the whole thing, but I want to show you how when
Mhm.
you're editing, it will change your ad strength. You're going to want your ad strength. It goes from poor to average to good to excellent. You will get more traffic if you have higher ad strength. So as irritating as it is to kind of follow, you'll want to do it as much as you can to get to boost that ad strength. So for example, Bows House Express, inflatable slide, rentals. I don't even know if this is applicable, but I just want to show you if we add them normally, we can get, let's see. Oh, they want more headlines. Okay. And you said that there was a coupon of some sort.
So probably like a coupon, like check, for coupons or something like that.
We're not being very creative here because I wanted to show
Yeah.
how
Yeah, I'll go
it,
back in and
yeah.
tweak this here a little bit too
Um,
back end.
you want also, let's see, description. Okay, let's see what else do
That's
we
a good
want.
one.
We'll add more headlines. Um, oh, why is it not? Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see that it went from poor up to average just by adding more headlines.
Yep.
So you'll want to kind of play around with this, and as you're adding or changing things, Google is immediately updating your strength, so you can see if you can get it up to average or good or excellent.
Okay.
So we'll leave that for now. I just wanted to show you that it is
Okay.
telling you what you need to do. So it's asking you for more headlines. It's telling you to put some of these keywords in your descriptions, which is down here. And it's also adding, telling you to put more headlines, keywords in your descriptions, and yeah, more headlines. Anyway, you can have up to 4 descriptions. I would recommend you using all 4. I would also recommend you putting call to actions in some or most of these. Call now, get a free quote, visit us today. Can be short. People need pushing. So I recommend using these 90 characters up to what you can and adding a call to action. And these are your headlines and your descriptions. And once you put these in, Google's going to basically play Russian roulette with them. You don't need to do ad copy testing the way that we used to before, where you were doing ad copy A to B, running them, seeing which one performs better. Google's basically just going to do it for you, and you don't really get a choice, unfortunately. You can see how they are performing in this page here. It's going to give you like combinations. We don't have any information yet. It will show you which ones are running the most, and you can see which headlines are performing the best. So you can sometimes go through and remove headlines that maybe are low performing or a description here and there, but really most accounts are not changing their ad copy that often, maybe every few months. So it takes a bit of time to go through them at the beginning to try and get them up to excellent. But once you do that, you really can leave it for a while. You also don't need to create more than one ad because you've got so many headlines and so many descriptions that are rotating. One ad is fine.
Yeah.
If you have different services, so probably put everything kind of under one ad. If you say you're doing concrete, and if you want to run ads for pavers or driveways, or you have like really different service pages, you might want to create different ad groups for that. But at the beginning, you can really throw everything under one ad and see how it goes. Then you're going to know which ones you're getting traffic for.
Okay.
Under the assets, this is where you would add the business name, which again, unless you have the business registered with the name, I don't think that you won't be able to do that.
Okay.
You will want to add site links. This is mostly just to take up real estate on the ad. So what we just updated was this part, the headlines and the descriptions. This part, oh, there we go. This part down here, these are what's called site links. These would, in theory, take you to specific pages on the website. Now, for now, we're just running a landing page. And if that's what you're starting out with and you don't have a full website built, you only have one page. So you can't run site links to multiple pages, but you can run a site link to the homepage. And I recommend you doing that only because Google's really weird and they want you to fill out this information. So just give them one and then it will make Google happy. So for the site link test, you can say, it's going to be what's in the headline. You can say something like,
Downtown's Express, like kind of I guess the business name would be fine, or
you can, probably wouldn't do you could say, I probably want to do something a little bit more catchy, but you could do something like, could even put like special, June
special discounts for your next
Special, yeah. Yeah, so it'll be right there. And then you write something on the description.
Good one. Or save on your next bounce house rental, right? Or other next.
Yeah, just call out. The best way to explain this is going to be what is your USP, what would make somebody want to rent a bounce house from your company versus other companies. You want to say like monthly specials, matched pricing, I don't know, maybe you do free delivery,
Yeah.
maybe you do extended hours, anything that makes you special. And that is going to go underneath your ad. One thing I want to actually say here, which people get really sometimes confused with this stuff, is sometimes you feel like you're saying the same thing in all the different places of Google. Maybe you're saying free delivery in the headline, and then you add it again in the call out, and maybe it's even in the description, but you don't know because Google's rotating everything else. First of all, with the headlines, the descriptions, and these call outs, I think you can have 16 call outs here. I think you can have 12 headlines. You have no idea what Google's going to show. We would hope that Google, as advanced AI is not, repeating all the ad copy between all three sections, even if you've written it there. The other thing is you have to remember with ads is nobody is reading your full ad. We are searching on pages in like a half a second and we are clicking so fast. We're scanning things. We might see the top of the first headline. We might catch something in the middle, and maybe we click on a site link. So if there's something that makes your business really special or something that you do that's different, you want to put it everywhere because you want to make sure that it grabs people's attention. Don't worry about being redundant. Nobody's really paying attention to any of it. So don't be too stressed about repeating yourself in these different sections. A lot of this is just putting copy there to appease Google so that you have information, like so that it shows that you've filled everything out and you've done what Google's asked, basically.
Sounds good.
A structured snippet, you can add this, but I think this was supposed to be getting removed. It's a little bit confusing. It's again just another thing, amenities, destination modules. So for example, with bounce houses, we can put like kind of bounce houses that you are offering. Do you have a slide? Do you have a house? Do you have a water pool? I don't know, these things. And again, for say example, concrete, you can change this to service catalog, pavers, patios, slabs, driveways, this kind of thing. For the call out, this is where your phone number is going to go. This is where it should have been added at the beginning of the page, but it's not there. Hold on. Why is it not there? They didn't want to add the caller. Okay, this is where you're going to add your phone number. How are we going on time?
We're doing good. Not bad. Yep. But a lot of great information, that's for sure.
Yeah, it can be a lot at the beginning, but once you have like built it and then you see things working, it's easier to kind of understand what you put in. So a lot of it is just fill in all these fields, just follow it kind of without question, more or less, and then go through and edit it when you're like, oh, I see where this is going. I see what this is changing, and then you'll get used to it. We'll add the phone number there, then leave the settings as the default. Make sure this is added at the account level and not at one of the other ones, and save that. And these ones, you're probably going to leave all this off. You're not going to use an app. The lead form doesn't really work very well. Pricing, you can add pricing, but you need to have 3 different products before you can show it, 3 different price assets. So for example, for bounce houses, you could add, the price for the
Probably not put price in, just because obviously the business owner is gonna, whatever the business owner is gonna be, is gonna be putting, giving the quote.
Oh yeah, you're right. Exactly. We'll leave that one out. In theory, could add that later. Yeah. So that's all for assets. Keywords is going to be just to show you how what you're going to want to be looking at later. For the keywords, the search keywords is what we've added to tell Google we want to show for these searches. Your negative keywords is what you will tell Google what you never want to add, what you would never want to show for. So for example, you can add things like, you won't really add things at the beginning, but I'll show you just for an example, like DIY. Generally, you're probably not going to want somebody searching for how to do it themselves, because you want somebody that's actually searching for this. Free is usually a good one to take out. Maybe PDF, people looking for PDFs or photos, these kinds of things. You can sometimes find keyword lists on Google, on the internet, but you'll start adding them as the account starts running. So when you start getting search traffic, in this page under search terms, you're going to have a massive list of phrases. This is where, when a user searches for something and they see your ad, their exact search term that they typed will show up here. So for example, if someone searches bounce house rentals near me, that wasn't one of our keywords, but it could have been matched with one of our keywords. So what we would see here is bounce house rentals near me, and it would say which keyword it matched to, which campaign it was in, blah, 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 blah. But what you'll also see under here at the beginning is keywords that you don't want to search for. So we're targeting LA City. Maybe we'll see somebody search for bounce house rentals San Diego, which you don't want because it's not in the city that we're targeting. So you'll end up clicking on that search term, and then you can add it into the account as a negative so that you don't ever show up for that search term again. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So that's one of the things that you want to do at the beginning, and that you want to check quite frequently, because at the beginning you'll have a lot more irrelevant keywords, but as you go through and clean them out over time, you'll have a lot less that you have to look at. Location we've already set up. The ad schedule is probably the other thing that we might want to change, especially if you're targeting a lot of phone calls and not as much form fills. Maybe you only want your ads to run during times when you want your phone to ring, or you have somebody answering the phone, and then you can change this to whatever you want. The default is going to be that the ads will run all the time. It's up to you.
Fine. Yeah.
So we'll leave that one. And the one more thing, I forgot now. I was looking at it, but I remembered. Oh, for locations. So we've added Los Angeles, but we can also look in here and see exactly what Google means by Los Angeles City. And this may or may not be what we want. If we want to exclude things, for example, we want Los Angeles, but we don't want, I don't know, San Fernando or Calabasas or something like this.
or lower. Like I think Long Beach was, if you scroll up a little, zoom out a little bit.
Oh
Or go,
yeah, so it's including Long Beach, which is
yeah, if
good.
you want to probably take that part out for sure. Is there a way to do that?
So we can't, no, we can't. We can change the way that we're targeting, but we can also exclude things. So what we can do is exclude Long Beach. It's not even excluding that properly. I actually like to do, let's try this. Where are we? It's not live. Exclude from here. Okay. You should be able to exclude by radius, but maybe we can't. So what you'll want to do is you can exclude Long Beach by excluding it like this. Anywhere that there's red, even if the blue's overlapping, the red will always like veto it out.
Mhm.
But it's not really getting what you want, is it?
That's
So
fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. No.
yeah, I don't know, a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
So one thing that for locations, the way that I normally end up doing it is I will take a zip code and then I'll target with the radius. So what's the
Mm.
zip code in Los Angeles?
Let me see. Probably.
Do you have his address here?
Yeah. Let me look. Do like let's do 90011. See what that comes up with.
Mm. Oh, just lost. Oh, there we go. 20 miles around Los Angeles. So then we have a different radius. We can change this to 15.
Okay.
So I think that this usually works a little bit better as far as targeting because the city ones end up being like this weird
Yeah,
thing.
definitely. Yeah, because that basically covers most of LA there for sure, and then a little bit in the outside, which is fine. I think a business owner is not going to mind, driving a couple miles out, to the surrounding city.
Yeah. So that's basically it
Cool. All right.
as far as setups. Was there anything that we glazed over that you have questions with?
I guess pricing. I think what should we put the budget for, you think? And once we have it all set, obviously we're not doing it right now, but once it's all set up and we kind of tighten up all the other stuff, what do you think the daily budget should be to start off with?
You know what? It's really difficult to say because it's going to depend on how much your traffic is. So for example, bounce houses in LA, we almost can't even see until we start running it.
Okay.
When you start running it, you're going to see what your traffic costs. But I would say you would want an average, I think Nick says $20 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a pretty good start. It's on the lower end of Google Ads accounts in general, but it's enough money that you should be able to see what's happening, and you should be able to see fairly quickly if your traffic's going to be really expensive and if you even want to continue spending money on it. If
Okay.
you have cheaper traffic, $20 a day is going to get you a solid amount of traffic. But average traffic, that's a pretty average budget.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because one of the reasons, a lot of people know the reason we chose this niche in particular, and the reason I kind of like was looking into is because the cost per click was really low. It was, I think, between 50 cents to $1.50. I think $2 max on the CPC. So that was one of the reasons I was, I was kind of thinking like, well, if it's that low, the ad budget wouldn't be that expensive in that sense, because we'll be getting a lot of clicks, which equals to hopefully a lot of leads, depending on the landing page and how we convert those leads, the traffic that's coming through. So
Where did you check for the CPC?
so I use Mangles for the CPC, and then I think I also use the Google keyword tool. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, once we start running. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get this going and kind of see the results that come through. But overall, Jenna, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Let's actually okay, cool. Thank you so much for doing this. And Jenna, if anybody that's watching this right now, kind of wants to, probably give you a call or reach out to you to get a little more information, if they need a little extra help on their Google Ads, how what's the best way to reach you?
Probably right now, just through my general email, I think would be the easiest. If they're, I don't know if a lot of people are following you or on that Discord channel, they can find me there. Or I do have a website. It's my company's Digital Wildfire. It's pretty old right now because a lot of my work is through other agencies, but you can also contact me through there. But my email is just jennatoy@gmail.com. 2 N's, ATOY, like a kid's
Awesome.
toy.
Awesome. We'll put that here in the description too, and that way they can reach out to you. Jenna, thank you so much. I don't know if you want to do another video, I guess, on the update side of it. It's up to you. But we'll get this running, and we'll see how this kind of pans out.
Yeah, I think let me know what you think about the content and the flow, and if it's what you're looking for.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Jenna. Appreciate it. We'll talk later.
Bye.